only one hat from Leave It to Beaver. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is when you do a series, any series, but especially if you're a child, you have like, I had this shirt, I would have 6 of them. These pants, I would have 6 of them. And that's because if you spill anything on them, if anything happens to them, they have to match. Now, the very first episode of Leave It to Beaver was called Captain Jack, and it was about Wally and the Beaver sending away for an alligator. The very first shots were outdoors at the lake. So my mom, because we were going to the studio for the very first day, kind of bundled me up. It was a little cold that morning, and she put a baseball cap on me that she found around the house. I mean, it was a baseball cap of mine, but it wasn't particularly a special one. So we walk into the studio. I put on my wardrobe. The wardrobe man had 6 of the shirts I put on. I put on the first one, he put on the second one, and all of a sudden the producers saw me and went, "We love that hat. Let him wear that hat for this first scene because it looks so good on him." And the wardrobe man went, "Well, okay," because he just figured, gee, it's just another green baseball cap. I'm sure I can go out and get one. So we shot that whole day. Well, now the green baseball cap has to stay for that whole show. But that night, the wardrobe man goes out. He can't find another one that looks like it. In fact, for the whole 6 years of Leave It to Beaver, there was only one baseball cap. It used to drive that poor wardrobe man crazy because he was always afraid that, something would happen to it. It might get ripped. It might tear. After the show was over, I have I think 2 shirts from the original Leave It to Beaver and a jacket. There is no other clothing from the show because all of it went back to wardrobe. But the hat was mine, so I got to take that home. All right, well, when we go to do the new Leave It to Beaver, they wanted to get a hat that looked exactly, or they wanted to use the same hat, ran into the same problem. So they hired a haberdasher, a hat maker, to come in and copy the hat. He made like 5 or 6 different, tried to copy it. None of them looked the same. So there are some floating around that people say are from the original show. It's like the ruby slippers on Wizard of Oz. Those were made for the new Leave It to Beaver, but there's only one original green baseball cap, and it's mine. Probably someday, maybe I'll donate it to a museum. Maybe not. Maybe eBay.
I guess the most fulfilling was Jaclyn Bouvier Kennedy. I was very nervous about it at first because she is so familiar pictorially and she's part of our history, so how can you capture that? And I think once I got into the role and relaxed and just went for the essence of the character, I really enjoyed it. A monologue I had at the end, I've never said such beautiful words. They're her words to Theodore White from the book In Search of History about that, tragic day in Dallas. And, she put it in such beautiful words. I think that it brought whatever horror that we needed to know about. It made it real to us, and it was a part of our history.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Jackie?
I didn't, but I know she watched our show and loved it. She gave us the material that we needed for research and people to see and talk to. And I know through a relative of hers that she did watch it. She had her children watch it, and she felt positive about it.
Well, there were some pranks. We would take the surgical gloves, fill them with milk, tie a little knot at the end, and bounce them on the mess tent table when we were waiting for them to light the set. And that was fun. It was fun, And then they would break, and milk would go flying all over the place, and wardrobe would groan, and makeup would groan, hair would groan. But we pulled it together, and it was all okay. Sometimes they would tie one of those little milk beanie babies around my car door handle so that there was no way for me to get into the car unless I broke it and got milk everywhere. We painted David Ogden Starr's dressing room purple and orange one weekend. And it was that kind of atmosphere. Even the directors, while they were groaning because they were losing minutes and pages had to be shot, were seduced by it.
Well, you know, we didn't realize that Happy Days was this huge success that it was for about like 5 years. We had these little cloth canvas dressing rooms right on the set, and nothing was very fancy about anything. And somebody came up, we didn't have any pictures up on the walls of our dressing rooms. Somebody said, well, how long have you been here? I said, well, 5 years now. They said, well, when are you going to move in? And it was about that time that we all thought, I think we're here to stay. Because in Hollywood, you can't take anything for granted. Because we always say, the minute you drive through that, like Paramount, here's the big gate, and you pull up to a parking place and it's got your name on it. Well, someday is going to come and they don't let you in, and they take your name off that parking place. And it happens so fast. So it took us a long time but you know how many years we stayed? We stayed 11 seasons. The thing that kept our show going for so many years was because we had a softball team. And the boys, all the guys, didn't want to break up that team. And we had uniforms, and we played with the media people before games, real professional baseball games, in all the major league fields. I mean, not only Dodger Stadium, but we went to New Orleans, we went to Milwaukee, we went to Philadelphia, to New York, Shea Stadium, Chicago, Wrigley Field. We played all these baseball fields. And for the guys, that's really all they cared about. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Just have
The diamond she has around her neck is like my little teardrop diamond.
I'm like, well, you just have to...
Am I late? I'm not late, am I?